Have you ever dreamed of planting a garden just once and then enjoying wave after wave of fresh, flavorful, homegrown food every single year, without the endless cycle of digging, reseeding, and starting over each spring? Picture stepping outside at the start of summer and watching your garden awaken on its own. Young shoots pushing confidently through the soil, familiar leaves unfolding, and the promise of another season of harvest returning without you having done anything at all. That is the remarkable appeal of perennial food plants. In this guide, we'll explore 10 incredible perennial crops that you can plant a single time and continue harvesting from for many seasons, sometimes even for a lifetime. These aren't unusual plants requiring advanced gardening skills. They're dependable, hardy favorites that thrive with minimal upkeep. Whether you tend a spacious backyard garden, maintain a small homestead, or simply grow food in a suburban yard, these perennial producers offer year after year abundance with hardly any work. So relax, get comfortable, and imagine transforming your garden into a self-renewing source of food, one that comes alive each year without demanding constant attention. Let's begin. 1. Blueberries, a lifetime investment. With beautiful harvests. Blueberries are more than just perennial plants. They are long-lasting companions that can enrich your garden for half a century or longer. A well-cared-for blueberry bush can continue producing delicious berries for 40, 50, even upwards of 60 years. While they take a couple of seasons to reach their full potential, the payoff is truly extraordinary. Their needs are simple and very specific. Blueberries require acidic soil, ideally between pH 4.5 and 5.5. Once you meet this requirement, they become one of the lowest maintenance fruit crops you can grow. They shrug off cold winters, resist most pests naturally, and only need occasional pruning and mulching to stay productive. Over time, these shrubs mature into dependable producers that reward you annually with plump, nutrient-packed berries. And their beauty is a bonus. In early spring, blueberry bushes put on a delicate floral display, covered in tiny bell-like blossoms that entice bees and make the garden feel alive again. During summer, these small fruits swell and ripen into rich shades of blue. Then, just when you think their show is over, autumn arrives, and their foliage ignites into fiery reds, oranges, and golds. For maximum harvests, planting 2 or more varieties is ideal. Cross-pollination dramatically increases berry size, sweetness, and overall yield. You can choose cultivars that ripen early, mid-season, or late, allowing your harvest window to stretch over many weeks. Blueberries are versatile and adapt well to raised beds, large containers, or traditional garden rows. Because their roots stay close to the surface, they benefit immensely from generous mulching, which keeps the soil moist and maintains the acidity they love. Year after year, your blueberry bushes will become fuller, stronger, and more productive, eventually turning into one of the most reliable food sources in your entire landscape. If you want a perennial fruit that offers long-term harvests, nutritional power, and ornamental beauty, blueberries are a perfect choice. 2. Raspberries, a self-renewing berry patch that never lets you down. Raspberries have earned their reputation for vigor. Once you plant them, they settle in, multiply, and return stronger with every passing year. Their growth cycle is fascinating. Each cane grows for one season, bears fruit, then dies back, only to be replaced by new, vigorous canes emerging from the root system. This natural renewal cycle keeps the berry patch fresh, productive, and full of energy year after year. There are 2 main categories of raspberries. Summer-bearing raspberries produce a single, abundant harvest early in the season, typically between June and July. Ever-bearing or fall-bearing varieties offer 2 rounds of berries, one in late summer on new canes, and another the following year on the same canes. Growing ever-bearing types gives you the pleasure of multiple harvests with almost zero extra effort. Raspberries are wonderfully forgiving. While they thrive in full sun, they also tolerate partial shade better than many fruiting plants. They appreciate nutrient-rich soil but still flourish in moderately poor soil conditions. Their cold hardiness is remarkable. You can experience a harsh winter and still rely on your raspberry patch to bounce back, ready to grow again. When given minimal care, some pruning, and the occasional watering, raspberries reward you with an impressive supply of sweet, antioxidant-packed berries. Many gardeners find themselves swimming in more raspberries than they can eat fresh, often freezing extras, sharing them with friends, or transforming them into jams, pies, syrups, and desserts. Over time, raspberries build a thick, lush thicket of canes that returns annually. Their roots spread and create new shoots, ensuring a perpetually renewing supply of fruit. A small initial planting can easily become a robust berry haven that produces for decades. Raspberries are a generous, self-sustaining fruit crop that keeps giving back, season after season. 3. Horseradish, the indestructible, spicy root that keeps coming back. Horseradish is the very definition of a perennial plant you can set and forget. This fiery, aromatic root has a long culinary history and remains cherished for its bold, intense flavor. It's used to brighten sauces, elevate meat dishes, enrich marinades, and craft unforgettable homemade condiments. Despite its strong taste, the plant itself requires almost no effort to grow. Its secret lies in its robust underground root system. Once horseradish establishes itself, it sends energy deep into the soil, forming thick white storage roots while pushing leafy green shoots upward each spring. These roots are harvested for their unmistakable heat, which becomes even sharper and more flavorful after the first frost. Cold temperatures intensify the bite, making late fall the prime time for harvesting. Horseradish is incredibly hardy. It tolerates freezing winters, withstands dry, scorching summers, adapts to poor soil, and handles irregular watering without losing vigor. If you forget about it for a year or even longer, it still returns with strength, ready to grow as if nothing happened. Many gardeners joke that the real challenge with horseradish isn't cultivating it. It's preventing it from taking over its corner of the garden. Because the roots naturally spread underground, it's wise to plant horseradish in a space where you're comfortable letting it become a long-term resident. It's perfect for a neglected garden corner, a back edge of a bed, or an area where long-lasting perennials thrive. Even a single plant often supplies enough root for an entire household, though many gardeners choose to plant multiple for an even larger harvest. Freshly ground horseradish delivers a powerful sinus-clearing punch, and when mixed with vinegar, its flavor stabilizes beautifully. Beyond the roots, the leaves are edible too and can be used in cooked dishes, adding even more value to the plant. Horseradish is an excellent addition to a perennial food garden because it embodies reliability, strength, and longevity. Once it's in your soil, it keeps coming back year after year, providing a spicy, invigorating ingredient that enhances countless meals. 4. Perpetual spinach. Endless harvests of tender greens. Without replanting, perpetual spinach is a remarkable leafy green that often surprises gardeners with its extraordinary productivity. Despite what its name might suggest, it isn't technically a true spinach. Instead, it belongs to the chard family, yet its flavor, texture, and versatility make it almost indistinguishable from traditional spinach in the kitchen. The real beauty of this plant, however, is its longevity. While regular spinach tends to bolt quickly in warm weather, forcing gardeners to replant multiple times in a season, perpetual spinach continues producing fresh, tender leaves for 2 to 3 years on the same plant. For anyone who values a continuous supply of nutrient-rich greens, perfect for smoothies, salads, sautés, stir-fries, and soups, perpetual spinach is a true treasure. It grows vigorously and rebounds quickly after each harvest. By simply picking the outer leaves and leaving the central rosette intact, the plant keeps regenerating new foliage, providing an almost constant supply of greens throughout the growing season. One of the key advantages of perpetual spinach is how easy it is to maintain. It prefers well-draining soil, full sun, and consistent watering, but it's far more forgiving than many other leafy greens. It tolerates occasional heat spikes, light frosts, and a variety of growing conditions with minimal stress. In regions with mild winters, it can continue producing through the colder months, giving gardeners nearly year-round access to fresh, homegrown greens. This resilience makes it an excellent choice for beginner gardeners or anyone seeking a low-effort, long-term food source. Unlike traditional spinach, which demands frequent sowing and careful attention to prevent bolting, perpetual spinach offers a reliable supply of leaves without constant intervention. By planting it once and giving it basic care, occasional compost feeding, watering, and selective harvesting, you can enjoy continuous greens for years. Many permaculture enthusiasts favor perpetual spinach because it embodies the principles of low-input, high-output gardening. For families, it dramatically reduces the need for store-bought leafy greens. For survival gardens, it provides dependable nutrition. And for home cooks, it's incredibly convenient. Fresh, tender leaves are always ready to harvest straight from the garden. In short, perpetual spinach is more than just a plant. It's a living, productive wall of food that rewards gardeners with minimal effort, transforming small garden spaces into a lush, enduring source of fresh greens. 5. Asparagus. The crown jewel of long-lived vegetables. Asparagus is universally celebrated as one of the most reliable and rewarding perennial vegetables a gardener can grow. Planting asparagus isn't just about a single season's harvest. It's a long-term investment that can continue producing year after year, sometimes for 2 or even 3 decades. Once established, an asparagus bed becomes a perennial gift, offering tender, flavorful spears each spring with minimal effort. The secret to asparagus's incredible longevity lies in its deep, robust root system. Unlike shallow-rooted annuals such as lettuce, spinach, or peppers, asparagus develops thick underground crowns. These crowns store energy and nutrients, enabling the plant to survive harsh winters, dry spells, and temperature fluctuations, while remaining poised to push forth new growth when conditions are right. Throughout the winter months, the crowns rest beneath the soil, silently preparing to deliver the first fresh vegetables of the year. When spring arrives, asparagus emerges almost magically. Before most other crops have broken dormancy, tender green spears begin pushing through the soil, offering some of the earliest edible shoots of the season. This early harvest is a true gift, providing fresh food at a time when most other vegetables are still weeks away from production. Patience is essential with asparagus, particularly during the first 1 or 2 years. Overharvesting young plants can weaken the crowns and reduce future yields. By allowing the plant to establish itself, gardeners ensure that asparagus will produce abundant, high-quality spears for decades. Once established, maintenance is minimal. Occasional mulching, watering during dry periods, and cutting back the brown fronds in winter are usually sufficient to keep the plants thriving. Asparagus flourishes in full sun and prefers rich, well-draining soil. Choosing a permanent location is crucial, as the plant does not respond well to relocation. Once planted, asparagus becomes a long-term resident of the garden, a dependable companion season after season. The rewards of asparagus cultivation are unmatched. Once mature, it provides a low-maintenance, high-yield harvest, giving gardeners early spring produce with little ongoing effort. It's truly a vegetable that keeps on giving, making it one of the most valuable perennial crops for home gardeners who want a reliable, long-term food source. 6. Rhubarb, the stalwart giant of the perennial garden. Rhubarb is a perennial vegetable that combines resilience, productivity, and striking visual appeal. Its enormous leaves and thick stalks give it a bold, almost tropical presence in the garden, yet it thrives in cooler climates where many vegetables struggle. Once planted and established, rhubarb becomes a long-lasting, highly productive plant, often continuing to produce for 40-50 years with proper care. One of the most remarkable aspects of rhubarb is its early season growth. While most plants are still emerging from winter dormancy, rhubarb bursts forth with vigorous stalks, providing some of the earliest edible harvests of the year. This makes it invaluable for bridging the hunger gap in spring, offering fresh, nutritious produce before other vegetables are ready. Rhubarb thrives best in cooler climates, with good morning sunlight and rich, well-amended soil. Generous applications of compost or organic matter encourage robust growth and improve overall plant health. Space is also important, as the leaves can grow large and spread widely. Consistent watering and mulching further enhance productivity, ensuring strong, healthy stalks throughout the growing season. It's important to remember that only the stalks of rhubarb are edible. The leaves contain oxalic acid and should never be consumed. Fortunately, the plant's design makes this easy to manage. Stalks are clearly distinct and can be harvested cleanly without risk. Rhubarb is incredibly hardy. Once established, it tolerates frost, fluctuating soil conditions, and occasional neglect. It rarely suffers from pests or disease and can be divided every few years to propagate new plants or share with fellow gardeners. This makes it an excellent choice for both ornamental and productive gardens. For gardeners seeking a perennial vegetable that combines reliability, dramatic presence, and early season harvests, rhubarb stands as one of the most indestructible and rewarding choices. Its bold stalks, ease of care, and decades-long productivity make it a cornerstone of any perennial food garden. 7. Egyptian walking onions. The self-planting, perpetual onion. Egyptian walking onions are among the most unusual and fascinating perennial vegetables you can grow, largely because of the way they propagate themselves. Unlike conventional onions that form flowers atop their stalks, walking onions produce clusters of tiny bulbs known as bulbils at the tip of their tall green stems. As the season progresses, these bulbils grow heavier, gradually bending the stalk downward. When the bulbils eventually touch the soil, they take root and grow into entirely new onion plants, seemingly walking across your garden over time. This remarkable habit allows the plant to perpetuate itself year after year with almost no intervention. This self-propagating behavior makes Egyptian walking onions both a practical food source and a conversation starter in the garden. They provide 3 distinct edible components: the tender green tops, which can be used like scallions, the underground bulbs offering a strong, robust onion flavor, and the top bulbils, which are either edible or perfect for replanting. Each part of the plant adds value, making it one of the most productive and versatile onions you can grow. Hardiness is another standout feature. Walking onions are extremely resilient, able to withstand freezing winters, drought, strong winds, and occasional neglect. Once established, they return stronger each year, forming a self-sustaining patch of productive onions that can persist for decades. They thrive in full sun but are also tolerant of partial shade, and they are remarkably adaptable to a variety of soils, whether sandy, loamy, or clay-heavy. They grow rapidly in spring, remain productive through summer, and stay upright well into fall. Because of their prolific nature, gardeners can expand their onion patches over time, share bulbils with friends, or relocate them to other areas of the garden. For anyone seeking a perennial vegetable that almost grows itself, Egyptian walking onions are unmatched. They provide fresh onions for cooking, garnishing, pickling, and fermenting, all without annual planting, complex care routines, or continual attention. This makes them a must-have perennial vegetable for low-maintenance gardens, homesteads, or survival-focused food plots. 8. Jerusalem artichokes. The resilient perennial. Potato. Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes, are an often overlooked perennial vegetable that offers high yields with minimal maintenance. For gardeners seeking a hardy, long-lasting crop that tolerates neglect, harsh climates, and fluctuating conditions, sunchokes are a top choice. Above ground, these plants grow tall, often reaching heights between 6 and 10 feet, producing cheerful yellow flowers resembling mini sunflowers during mid to late summer. But the real prize lies below the soil. Clusters of knobby, starchy tubers with a mildly sweet, nutty flavor, somewhere between potatoes and water chestnuts. These versatile tubers can be roasted, boiled, sliced into stir-fries, fermented into pickles, or eaten raw as a crisp, nutritious snack. One of the most remarkable qualities of Jerusalem artichokes is their self-propagating nature. Any tuber piece left in the ground will grow into a new plant the following season. This makes them a near-perfect plant-once, harvest-forever vegetable. Sunchokes are extremely hard to eradicate once established, and will reliably return year after year, gradually expanding their patch unless gardeners actively manage them. Due to their vigorous growth, it's advisable to plant sunchokes in a dedicated area where they have space to spread. When properly contained, they provide a dependable, steady supply of nutritious food without becoming overly invasive. They tolerate poor soil, drought, cold winters, inconsistent watering, heat, and general neglect with ease, making them ideal for beginners or anyone looking for a low-maintenance perennial food source. For gardeners aiming to grow a reliable, productive root vegetable that keeps giving season after season, Jerusalem artichokes are hard to beat. Their resilience, versatility, and generous yields make them a truly rewarding addition to any perennial food garden. 9. Chives, the perennial herb. That keeps on giving chives may appear delicate with their slender, grass-like leaves, but they are among the most resilient and productive perennial herbs you can cultivate. Plant them once and they will return reliably every spring, often long before most other vegetables have begun to emerge. As soon as temperatures rise, chives send up dense, vibrant green shoots packed with fresh flavor. Their mild, oniony taste makes chives incredibly versatile in the kitchen. They can be sprinkled over scrambled eggs, chopped into salads, incorporated into mashed potatoes, stirred into soups, or used to brighten dressings. Chives enhance dishes effortlessly without overpowering other flavors, which is why they are a staple herb for many home cooks. Chives are also visually appealing. In late spring or early summer, they produce round, purple flowers resembling tiny pom-poms. These blooms are edible, offering a delicate onion flavor perfect for salads and garnishes. Additionally, they attract beneficial pollinators like bees and butterflies, improving the overall health and productivity of your garden. Maintenance is minimal. Chives thrive in full sun but tolerate partial shade, and they grow well in most soil types. Once planted, they can remain productive in the same spot for decades. Every few years, dividing the clumps rejuvenates the plants and allows gardeners to expand their herb supply. Starting from a single plant, you can gradually cultivate a robust patch of chives through simple division, creating a reliable perennial herb bed. Whether grown in containers, garden beds, borders, or even integrated into landscaping, chives are a quiet yet powerful perennial. They return year after year, provide endless culinary uses, and support the ecosystem around them. Perennial strawberries. Perennial sweetness for years. While often treated as annuals in commercial operations, strawberries are true perennials in home gardens and can be incredibly rewarding. Plant them once and each strawberry plant will produce fruit year after year while sending out runners, long, slender stems that grow baby plants at their tips. These new plants root in the soil and grow into fully productive strawberry plants, naturally expanding the patch over time. This self-renewing process ensures that your strawberry bed continually refreshes itself. Older plants are replaced by new ones, maintaining a healthy, productive system with minimal effort. Gardeners simply need to mulch for winter protection, water during dry spells, and remove last year's dead leaves in early spring. With such straightforward care, strawberries can provide abundant fruit for many seasons. Homegrown strawberries are hard to beat in flavor. Sweet, fragrant, juicy, and sun-warmed. Whether eaten fresh, frozen for smoothies, made into jam, or baked into desserts, strawberries offer exceptional rewards for minimal work. Gardeners can choose from two main types of strawberries depending on their needs. June-bearing varieties produce a large, concentrated harvest early in the summer, perfect for bulk processing or freezing. Ever-bearing varieties yield smaller amounts of fruit multiple times throughout the season, giving fresh strawberries week after week. Many gardeners grow both types to enjoy continuous fruit production. Strawberries adapt well to raised beds, containers, vertical towers, hanging baskets, or traditional garden rows. Given full sun and well-draining soil, they flourish and, over time, naturally thicken and become more productive. In a home garden, strawberries offer an enduring, sweet harvest that can delight families year after year, requiring minimal maintenance while delivering maximum flavor.